let's go ahead and get started. We may have a couple of more guys that jump on. So we got glad to have Ralph, you, Charlie, Craig, Mike Neighbors, and even though he's probably sleepy, and then Roger Rucker. So appreciate you guys jumping on today. And we've got some good things we're going to talk about today. And so let's go ahead and just kind of jump right in. You know, I know that we've got everybody's goals, you know, Charlie, you know, 3 recruits, 5K in premium, 500K in investments. I think Charlie, last week you were at 171K already invested. And then Roger, a goal of 6x6 and 200K investments. And I think right now, let's see. Well, as a matter of fact, Roger, let's just do this real quick. Does anybody have any numbers to update? You know, I've got the goals of, you know, for February, you know, of course, like I said, I've already talked about Charlie Moran, 3 recruits and 5K and $500,000. Roger, 6x6 and 200K. Mike Neighbors, 5x5 and 250K. Tommy, 3x10, 3 recruits, 10K and premium, 2 million investments. And then Craig, 3.3500 in premium, 4 recruits, 150K. Does anybody have any updates on your numbers? Just real briefly. Charlie, you and Roger, Mike Neighbors.
Yeah, no, for us, currently we don't have any recruits on the books for February. Actually have one that should be doing the IBA from Friday. It's we were going to do it last Friday. Just need better timing for that. We met. He's ready to come on board. The others had, you know, I'll say the new recruits that we had for February still on board, but you know, had some big life hurdles this month. You know, David, I think I mentioned to you about one of them's son being in a horrific accident. But,
right.
You know, and then the other 2, they've had death in the families, and so we're working on still some new people, but getting back to them, which, you know, maybe into March. You know, for the investment side of things, just rescheduled an appointment before we got on, and have a couple others. Actually, the pipeline on the investments, you know, more than the 200,000, but you know, we're working through that. And on the insurance, you know, we have one that's on track, but that's it right now.
Okay. Anybody else have any updates?
Yeah, I had lady pass her test, so we have a new licensed direct, Kim, up here. She's a realtor. Good. She has a great market. I just gotta figure out how to get her trained a little bit now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Mike Neighbors, you started?
Yeah, David, I've got 1,300, a little over 1,300 in premium so far. Got a couple of appointments later this week. I've got a little over 60,000 in investments, and should have maybe another 250 before the end of the month, maybe 3. And looking at 2 recruits. Just don't know when they're actually going to come in. Hopefully this month.
Yeah, well, that's good. Craig, what about you, man? Any update?
Yeah, one really exciting thing. I got 3 people who hopefully by the end of this week, maybe one of them next week, will be life licensed, and all 3 of these have been on the books for months, and they're finally getting licensed. So that's a big win for me, because I've been working with these guys and gals for a long time. So that's exciting. I've got one $1,300 term that I thought was going to close today, but I just got a text that it's moved to tomorrow, but that should be a done deal. I've got a $55,000 annuity that is just in the midst of paperwork, and got a couple more both couple appointments that have been trying to get on the books forever that got on for Friday. So got stuff happening, making a lot of activity, more so than maybe ever. So I'm feeling good.
Okay, cool. Let's see, Charlie, did you have any update? Charlie, you're muted, man. There you go. Well, I still can't hear you, Charlie. Can't hear you. Maybe your volume. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's you're showing unmuted, but it's not.
Hey, David, I just got a text from Larry. He said he's on a life insurance close with Will.
Okay, cool. Okay, we can forgive him for not being here then. That's good. Had a good talk with Will last week. He's got some things happening. So to Larry's son. And hey, but anyway, and Charlie, we'll get to you if you can get your sound squared away. But let me go ahead and we can come back to that. But again, guys, let's see. We will. We just got some things. I think we're going to have a good month. I was thinking Tommy was going to be on, but Tommy did get. They got a $2 million investment last night. Got it closed last night. So I think by the time he gets paid on that, I think he's going to be maybe 15K away from the ring. So he's hoping to get the ring. I'll congratulate him when he jumps on. I don't know what happened, but anyway, so he hopefully we'll be able to get. He's got to do that in the next 6 weeks, I think, to get the ring. But he'd be able to walk at the convention. So that would be a big deal. Awesome on that. So. We got some good things happening. I think it's going to be I think the production and everything's really starting to break, and momentum is building. And so the other thing that I wanted to talk about, we're gonna kind of shift gears a little bit. Of course, we had our leadership retreat, which I know Ralph, you, Larry and Bernadette were here. Ralph, I know you plugged in. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Roger, I believe, had plugged into that. There were several people that were plugged in. We did record it. Of course, Craig, Tommy was there, Mike Neighbors, Charlie. So I appreciate the ones that were here, and then also you guys were able to plug in. So I think that we did record it. And I believe the sound and everything came out good. So we're getting that edited now. We should definitely have that edited this week, cutting out the lunch and the breaks and just kind of cleaning it up. And then we're going to, all of you that were either plugged in or there, we're going to set up a GroupMe group of the leadership retreat team. And so we're hopefully going to get that set up this week. We're going to email all of you the link, and we'll actually post it on GroupMe too, the link to the event. So that way you can go back and review things and all that. But I really, I've got things we didn't get to, many of you know, I talked about Dan Hall was going to do a segment on goal setting. There's also and I'm going to let Dan explain it. I'm not going to attempt to. There's a test that you can take to identify kind of I think Gallup years ago came up with about the 35 characteristics of different people in leadership that have done good things, and how, everybody typically that have done well, they're strong in maybe 5 of the characteristics. So we're gonna teach on that. We're gonna hopefully delve into that. There's a lot of things that I've realized at the end of the day on Saturday that really the event has got to be longer. Okay. It really needs to be, and we're going to really probably go to a 3-day event on that. I'm looking at maybe doing it, maybe using the Grand Hotel down at Point Clear, Alabama, which is the site of where the first A.L. Williams convention was, with that Art did. And so, but we're gonna, I really want to start doing maybe 1 to 2 of those a year, of those leadership retreats. And then that way, as you guys identify leaders or people that could become RVPs, we can take them into an environment like that for 2 nights down at the Grand Hotel, really have time on the agenda to delve into, because there are things we didn't get to, like how to expand, how to, what does your office need to look like, opening an office, expanding into different areas, different strategies that we can do there. What we're going to do with the group that was there, we're going to do a series of Zoom sessions over the next few weeks with that group, and we'll be able to get everything covered. And like the segment with Dan or whatever, but we can do that through Zoom, and then really focus on driving the convention. The other thing I was going to talk about this morning is what I want to do is, like, as far as our I'm calling this group, I know we got Charlie who works with Jim and Roger, Joyce, Combs, etc. But I'm treating you guys, I'm just considering you part of the base shop. Okay. So, but what I'm going to do with this, with our base shop from a training standpoint, last week we had Tommy and Craig kind of took the ball and ran with it on the agenda. Okay. And they got, Dominic Papiro, and I thought Dominic did an awesome job last Saturday morning with, the things that he covered, really. And I really think to really drill down on the fundamentals of what it takes to build, what it takes to sell, develop clients, all that. And I know that I think this week they've got Frank Firestone, which Frank's incredible. So Frank's going to be guest speaking this Saturday on the leadership segment, 10 to 11 or 10 to 11:15, whatever it goes to. And then Justin Giroux the next Saturday. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I kind of pull back on that. As far as me running that show, what I want to do is about every 4 weeks to maybe every 6 weeks maximum. I really want to focus on the leadership, the people at the leadership retreat, but I'm going to do, Jill and I are going to do like every 4 to 6 weeks, a Saturday morning leadership hour that we're going to kind of take the ball and run with it, or it'll either be us or we'll have a Dan Hall or a guest speaker or a Bill Render or whatever. So we're going to have some special events about every 4 to 6 weeks. There's going to be a powerful event that Jill and I are going to host. And so I'm going to focus on that. And then I really feel like that Saturday mornings really just need to be about building the base shop, and it's really like, I feel like that, that y'all need to feel the responsibility of driving the numbers on Saturday mornings. You know what I mean? Rather than me promoting it to the hierarchy and we've got all these random people on from who knows where. But, it's kind of like, for when I really built this, when I kind of felt the burn, where, look, I'd put together an agenda and then I'd think, crap, who's showing up this morning? And I'd feel the pressure. And I know y'all that have built, you know that feeling that of that ownership to where like it's kind of on us. So I really, and in that way, we can, activity that is measured will increase.
Amen.
That if we get, like, hey, if there's, we'll record them all. And if something just is amazing, like a Frank Firestone, or he just does the super duper incredible, we'll have it recorded. We can put it on our app. We can email it out to hierarchy or whatever if we need to do that. But I really want Saturday morning to be about this group, you guys, and us building together and showing growth. People plugging in, and let's go from, if there's 15 people on this Saturday, then so be it. I mean, that's where it is. That's reality, right? And then now how do we take it to 30? How do we take it to 50? How do we take it to 100? But where it's this team that's going to be driving the momentum of that. And so, I know I've talked to Jill about it. I've talked to, Rose, like I said, has been here forever and has seen, all kind of strategies. And so we all kind of are on the same page. That's kind of the right play to run right now. So the other thing too is, is like one of the things is, we have to show growth, not only in our numbers plugging in from the base shop. And again, I just consider all of you the base shop. And so we got to show growth there, but we got to show growth on our numbers too, because, if somebody's running training, then people know they can go on Primerica Online and they can see, hey, look, so-and-so's running training, but they ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? So, from a leadership standpoint, everybody involved, it only goes so far just to say, well, I'm running training, that only plays so long. You know what I mean? If there's not some growth or some production, like on what we track every week, then it's just not gonna, people aren't gonna respond to that long term. So in other words, then next thing you know, training's back down to 10 people. Right. And they're plugging in because they feel like they have to. But people should want, all I know is if we take this puppy to 50K, then hell, you're gonna have everybody in America wanting to plug in and say, what the heck are they doing?
Right.
Right. Then that's what we got to do. We got to grow. We got to show growth. And then let me tell you, we show growth on the bookends, investments, and everything else. People are gonna show up. That there's gonna be all kind of exciting things happening. So anyway,
So are you talking? So right now we're doing, well, for our time frame, it's 11 to 12. You've been doing that. So are you saying, like what I used to do in my base shop is do a 2-hour training, basically covered the 7 fundamentals, do a lot of PDR, which is practice, drill, rehearse, live. And then, like if the company had an announcement or a video from somebody or something like that. So are you saying you want to go to that kind of a format, or what specifically are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be fundamental driven, like the 7 fundamentals, and I think too, guys, I think it's one thing when you got a Dominic Papuro who's been here forever, next stop is 400K in income, or Frank Firestone, same thing. When you have a guest speaker like that, or Justin Drove, man, what you want to do is, of the hour-long show, or ever how long it is, hour and 15 minutes, whatever. I do think that Zoom needs to be compacted a little tighter, the time frame. I don't know if it needs to be 2 hours. I don't know. I think that's what everybody needs to decide. But I think that, like when you get a Justin Rowe, man, what you want to do is wind him up and let him go 45 minutes. You know what I mean? And glean all you can from that guest speaker. When we don't have that, number one, typically the people talking or emceeing or whatever need to be showing growth in their business. And then when we have that, when y'all don't have a guest speaker, the good thing is, I mean, with our hierarchy, you got tons of great guest speakers that you can have access to that would be glad to come on and do that. So you can do a lot of that. But I think the best kind of agenda, when you don't have like a Justin Giroux, would be, somebody or, MC it. And then you do, like Ralph, you just mentioned, if there's some great video, which it's amazing, some of the videos that we have access to, we can play a 15-minute video, and then you have somebody talk 15 or 10 minutes. Those, to me, little 10-minute segments, where it's fast moving, it's like, maybe some newer person getting on there telling their story for 5 minutes, but 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and where you change it up, you almost, to me, some of the best fast start schools we used to do would be a lot of 10 and 15-minute segments. You know what I mean? You almost kind of take a Saturday morning, let's say you're going to go an hour and 15 minutes. You almost want it to move so fast that people they feel like they've been there 40 minutes. They've been going an hour and 15. You know what I mean? And they're getting so much information. It's not like where people are getting on there rambling for 15, 20 minutes, but it's kind of like somebody getting upset. Okay, what are the benefits of our term? And they do it in 7 minutes. They got 7 minutes to do it, right? Our term versus other term. Very fundamental driven, sprinkle in my story, the inspirational, et cetera. Anyway, that would be the.
Hey, David, if I could touch on kind of what me and Tommy have discussed, and so to kind of let everybody know where we're going, we've gotten these 3 speakers mainly because we had training last Saturday, and David kind of threw this at us like Wednesday. So we said, look, let's get some amazing speakers for maybe the next 3 weeks, and during that time, Tommy and I have been getting together and planning to really jump at like we've been talking about the fundamentals, so that we have a little bit of time to get our head around where we want to go, how we're going to get there, and put the plan in place to do that. So the weeks that we have speakers versus not, those weeks that we have speakers is really the main thing right now. It's allowing us some time to say, hey, here's what we really want it to look like. Here's where we want to go with it. Here's an actual plan, where what we don't want to do is be winging it every week and coming up with a plan on Thursday or Friday. So we're really putting in some time now, so that when we don't have a speaker, like David's talking about, we've got a real tight hour 15 minutes, whatever we decide, that it's very meaningful. It works well for you guys. It works well for brand new person A, to district leader B. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a
hey, Craig, I appreciate that. Thank you. Glad you jumped in there. So
Craig, are you gonna do that from the office? Like, because what I'm thinking here, Roger and I, we've got access to the office, and we could get probably 25 or 30 people. We don't have that many yet, but in our training room. And I think it would be good for as many people as possible to come live in a group setting. And then anybody that can't, obviously they can jump on Zoom. And then once we get our numbers up, like we could do live from our office in conjunction with what you're doing, where we got a marker board, we're doing some training, interviewing people, because, you know, the good and the bad news about Zoom, it creates synergy, but nothing creates synergy like being together. You know what I mean?
Completely agree. Completely
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. And look, I'd like to be in the office on Saturday mornings, you know, well, yesterday. So it's definitely something that, you know, we'll talk to, you know, David and Rose and whoever about as far as, you know, as far as, you know, I mean, we're getting fingers crossed with COVID. I mean, obviously we want to be careful there. I got a respiratory thing going on, so I'm not keen to get it again. But at the same time, look, I'm much better in front of an actual group of people than digital people. I'm much. I would rather have that. So I definitely like the idea of being able to have two base shops connected on Zoom, and then you've got a sprinkling of people that can't be at either one that's on Zoom. That's where we're going, 100%.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
there's nothing like being in person, especially one of the things Tommy and I've been talking about, and I'm sure you guys can agree, is one of the things that we have not had on Saturday mornings is a real team feeling, you know, and part of it is because it hasn't just been the base shop. You know, it's like David said, it's random people from Canada and the United States. And what we really want to create, even if we're 80% on Zoom or even 100% on Zoom, is we want to through opening it up more for both Q&A, for people that have maybe done something, maybe a new person that has closed their first app that week. Let's get their 5-minute story, right? Somebody that's gone to district leader. Hey, give us 5 minutes on what you did to get to district leader. So it could be, so doing that, our hope is that we can create more of a team feeling. You know, we get a little rah-rah in the base shop. Obviously, that's going to be much easier when we're in the office, which is the goal. But even on Zoom, that's one of the main goals that we've talked about is getting some excitement and synergy, and have it not just be the speakers, but some people talking, and whether the questions are just in chat or, you know, some interaction as well.
Yeah, and I think that you know, Ralph, like I said, up in Ohio, y'all got an office there with the Zoom capability. Naturally, my office here, you know, we've got the HD camera and all that, so we've got great plenty of room and all. So yeah, and I think that's a home run. I think that the COVID stuff is, you know, I've had it my second time now. I had fever one day. Didn't feel good for about 4 days, but it was a heck of a lot better than the first time at basically 2 weeks. So, but I think even Fauci admitted that it's going to an endemic phase now. That was this week or whatever, instead of a pandemic. But anyway, so let me so that's where we're headed there, and we or y'all can drill down on that more. But like I said, and like you said too, Craig, you know, the thing is, while everybody gets their feet under them for the next 2 weeks with Frank Firestone and Justin Grove is going to be a home run. And by the way, the month will end. We got 2 weeks from today. February will be done. So hopefully we can all make a push these next 2 weeks to really take things to a different level. And so a couple of things that I wanted to, and I know we've got LFIC, we got 18 minutes. So let me just give you a couple of things, 3 keys to success, okay? Okay, 3 keys. One is heart, okay? I listened to a book this week. I can't even remember the name of the book, but I think it was Hustle. But it said, heart, do something. If you got something that's close to your heart, okay, that's a real key. You know, something you believe in, something you know, that's close to your heart. The second point is head. Okay. You know, get something close to your heart, and then, you know, what you focus on expands. If it's close to your heart to go to, you know, your why, what you want to go do, what you want to go build, then you're going to use your head, you know, that God gave you, your brain, to figure out, okay, you know, you can wake up, if it's important enough to you, believe me, you'll figure out the how. If it's important enough, then your butt will get it. Man, your subconscious will be working all night long. You'll wake up in the morning, get in the shower, and you get another idea. Why? Because it's that important. It's close to your heart, what you want to go do. So heart, head, and then the third thing is habits, right? Getting those habits going. And they say that, you know, the habits, you know, you've got to have milestones, okay, and deadlines. You got to have milestones that you want to accomplish. Just like, hey, look, February, I'm gonna do 5 by 5. By the way, anybody does 5 by 5 this month, team, okay, then I'm gonna pay a $500 bonus this month. Anybody does 5 by 5 this month. But you know, you have those milestones and deadlines, okay, that you've got to hit, that you're going to hit to go out and make those make it happen. You know, I think about the and somebody had to question Dominic last week about the incentives and like for new people and all that, and he mentioned, you know, man, for new people. And then talking about recognition, Craig, one thing we need to be cheerleading big time is the field training bonus. Man, we've never had incentives like we've got for new people to get out there and get after it while they're getting licensed. I mean, they download the app, they get money. They, you know, for every one by one, you know what I mean? And they can build up money in their bank, and then we can celebrate that and recognize them for that. As a matter of fact, there's something I'll tell you what, let's do. Let me see if I can, okay. I'm gonna, you know, I've mentioned to y'all this Blinkist, okay. And the Blinkist, the Blinkist app. And there's something I was listening to this morning, and I'm just going to play you the book Atomic Habits. Okay. Now I bought this book. Okay. Can y'all see me? Okay. Am I still on? Yeah. So I bought this book 3 years ago and read about 20 pages. Right. So I get up, go out to the gym this morning. Right. Get up on the treadmill and, you know, pull it up on my Blinkist app, right? And it's like the whole book review is 19 minutes. So while I'm on the treadmill, I got all the major points from Atomic Habits. Well, hell, I mean, I should be doing that every day. And, you know, guys, you know, it's not, you know, it's about your trajectory, right? You know, and they use the example, you know, when you get up and you get on the treadmill or whatever for 30 minutes, tomorrow you're not going to look any better, right? It's not going to make a difference. But you do that puppy for a year, and hell, you're going to be pounds lighter, in better shape, okay? Have more stamina, you know. So it's your direction that you're headed, and just getting those little habits going. I want to take maybe 5 minutes. I just want y'all to hear a part of this. This is the last part of this book. But you know what hits me? I mean, man, if I go out to the gym 5 days a week, right? And while I'm there, I have my buds in and burn through. A lot of the book reviews are like 15 minutes, 11 minutes. This one I think was a total of 19 minutes, the book review. And what if what if you do that while you're doing two things at once? You're getting in better shape, right? And then you're feeding your brain, you're getting ideas. What if you did that for a year, right? And your direction, that's going to have a heck of an impact, both, intellectually, inspirational, physical and all that. So anyway, y'all listen to this real quick.
We're now about halfway through our exploration of atomic habits. We've looked at how powerful habits are, how they are made, and how you can use habit cues to your advantage. Now it's time to talk about the reward side of habit building. In 1954, neuroscientists James Olds and Peter Milner ran an experiment to look into the neuroscience behind desire. Using electrodes, they blocked the release of the neurotransmitter dopamine in some rats. The results were surprising. The lab rats simply lost the will to live. Without dopamine, they had no desire to eat, drink, reproduce, or do anything else. Just a few days later, they all died of thirst. This rather disturbing story tells us one thing. Dopamine is a crucial motivator. When we do something beneficial for our survival, eating, drinking, having sex, dopamine is released and we feel good. This feeling of pleasure motivates us to do the beneficial action again and again. So far, so clear, but what does this have to do with habit building? Well, we don't actually have to do the pleasurable activity to get the hit of dopamine. The mere anticipation of doing something pleasurable is enough to get the dopamine flowing. In the brain's reward system, desiring something is on par with getting something. This can be turned to our advantage. When building our new habit, if we make it something we look forward to, we'll be much more likely to follow through and actually do it. Here's where I'd like to introduce you to the concept of temptation bundling. Temptation bundling is where you take a behavior that you think of as important but unappealing and link it to a behavior that you're drawn to. This is how you can use dopamine to your advantage when building a new habit. Consider the story of Ronan Byrne, an engineering student from Ireland. Ronan knew he should exercise more, but he got little enjoyment from working out. However, he did enjoy watching Netflix. Who doesn't? So Ronan hacked an exercise bike. He connected the bike to his laptop and wrote some code that only allowed Netflix to run if he was cycling at a certain speed. By linking exercise literally to a behavior that he was naturally drawn to, he transformed a distasteful activity into a pleasurable one. You don't have to engineer a complex Netflix exercise bike contraption to apply this to your own life. There are easier ways to do this. For example, if you need to work out, but you want to catch up on the latest A-list gossip, you could commit to only reading magazines while at the gym. Or if you want to watch sports, but you need to make sales calls, promise yourself a half hour of ESPN after you talk to your 10th prospect. Just find a way of making those unattractive but important tasks enjoyable, and you'll be surfing a wave of dopamine and creating positive habits at the same time.
Hey, okay, so, that was just a little sampling, okay? I mean, there's 19 minutes of that, but they talk about, just like the example, there's what they call cues, to starting a new habit. And one of the things that, like, you make your environment, like, I saw my brother Mike did this, like Mike he still to this day uses a paper calendar, and when he would come in at night or during the day, whatever, he leaves, I bet he probably still does it to this day. He leaves his calendar open. And so when he gets up or he walks through the kitchen or whatever, he sees that calendar laying there. And that's his cue that, you know what, that's important. So creating your environment, anything that can cue you, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind, right? The other thing is schedule it. Schedule the things that you need to do. So say, okay, look, I'm going to take an hour a day and put it on your calendar. From 9 to 10 a.m. is when I make 10 calls. 9 to 10 a.m. That's when I make that. And so put it on your calendar. Okay. Nothing else goes in that slot. Okay. But the thing about it is, as soon as I do those 10 calls, then I'm going to do this. Okay. So then from 9 to 10, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make my 10 calls. If I can do it in 15 minutes, I can do it in 15. But I'm going to allow that 1 hour. And then after that, then I'm going to do this. And then think about that pleasurable thing you want to do. And even when you're doing the 10 calls, you're still getting the hit of dopamine, right? Okay. Even by doing the stuff you don't want to do. And that's where I came up with years ago, the thing of disciplining yourself 2 hours a week, just scheduling. If you do that 2 hours a week, schedule 2 hours a week, hell, you're done. Man, you're going to make a 6-figure income next 12 months. And so what's that going to do to your life? You know, what I would do if I were y'all, I would immediately download Blinkist, right? And just start, and it's going to ask you what your interests are, business, you put up, and then it's going to send you ideas, or you can do searches that Atomic Habits and take 19 minutes. It's like $4 a month. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and it's unlimited list of books that you can review and all kind of things that you can do. So you need a cue. You need to create an environment at your house. If you're working out of the house, whatever, like my brother Mike leaves his calendar out all the time, right? Okay. And it's right there in front of him. It gets him thinking about it. And then coming up with, you know, put it on your schedule when you're going to do the things that you know are going to move your business, which is what? It's really prospecting, scheduling. You know, it really comes down to expanding your market and scheduling and having those small conversations, which lead to what? The big things. Okay. And so the last things I was going to say, okay, is one of the quotes I saw from Steve Jobs. Okay. He said, ideas without actions aren't ideas, they're regrets. Right? Ideas without action, they're not ideas, they are regrets. You're gonna look back and regret it. If you don't take action, you know, you're gonna be at the convention, right? Which is gonna be incredible. By the way, every new recruit, one thing that we need to say with every conversation, with every new recruit, say, listen, Joe, I'm excited about you coming in, all that stuff. The only thing I want to ask you for a couple of commitments, okay, is that number one, I need your permission. I need your permission. You're going to let me help take you to district leader, right? Okay, district leader, man, because it'll double your contract. You'll make more income, you know, and I'd really love to get that done by the time you get licensed. Okay. So I need your permission to, I'd like to be able to kind of push you on that and let me, because man, I want you to win here. I want you to be here. I know if I can get you to that 50% contract, I know the chances of you being here at Christmas are great. The second thing, I need you to commit to plug in on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Central, right? For 1 hour. And guys, I do not think you need to do a 2-hour training. I think you got to make it easy for people, easy decision. Maybe if you go over to 1 hour and 15 or whatever, that's fine. But Joe, you know, 10 to 11, I need an hour every Saturday morning. Can you do that? Right. And then the third thing, okay, man, we haven't had a national convention since 2019 in June, but this summer, at the end of June, going into July 4th weekend, we've got a national convention at the new Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be incredible. And we're going to do it smart, right? But as COVID, we're looking at COVID as post-COVID now, right? That we're moving into a different phase of that deal. And so we're going to have this convention. Man, I need you in Atlanta. And man, you're brand new. You can go for practically, from a registration point. I don't know what, I know it's a discount for new reps, right? To get them in the room. But man, what I'm saying is we need to right now get these new reps committed to Atlanta. We need to get everybody committed to Atlanta. We need to huddle up. We're going to have a hierarchy breakout on Thursday night. Okay, Rose, matter of fact, will you get with Lauren today and let's get our room reserved? And we're going to do one big room with Mike's hierarchy and ours, of course, Canada and all that. So we're going to have an incredible hierarchy night on Thursday at 5 p.m. We want to do there's a 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 p.m. Option. So we'll do the early option hierarchy breakout on Thursday. And then it'll be after the workshops, and then bam, we go right into the convention. It's going to be incredible in Saturday night. And so anyway, but guys, man, the last thing I'll say is I love what Jim Rohn said. He said, you know what? Life is risky. Life is risky. He said, the minute you're born, you're put on this earth, it's risky. Okay. It's risky being born. It's risky trying versus not trying, investing versus not investing, married versus not married, having kids versus not having kids, building a business versus not building a business. He said, it's all risky. Okay. He said, one fact is, you're not going to get out of here alive. There's not a one of us getting out of here alive. Okay, it's risky, but man, hey, let's embrace the risk. Let's embrace the fear and the risk. What's our option, right? But you ain't going to make it out of here. We're all going to kick the bucket. Okay, it's just a matter of what are we going to do between here and there. And man, I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back in 2032 and say, man, I played it safe, right? Man, while we're here, we need to leave it all on the field and go out there and make this thing happen. So anyway, what I'm going to do, my deal, I know LFIC has started, so I'm sure that the deal's full, so we'll have to do it on Facebook or whatever. But I'm gonna handle what's going to be my primary thing are Tuesday mornings leadership call, right? So this is what I want to focus on with small group. And by the way, if you've got somebody that wants to go kick some ass here, and you feel like they're up to it, because it's going to be locker room, then you can invite them to get on here. It doesn't need to be just us. I'm just notifying y'all that we're doing it. You're welcome to have anybody that you want on here with us, right? Tuesday mornings at 10:30 Central. So anyway, hey, but guys, anybody else I know we're a minute over. So anybody have anything real quick or anything anybody needs to say?
Everything you're saying is true, because I'll tell you one thing I have thought about in the last 4 days.
Hey, real quick, I got a hard out. I'll see.
Yeah,
I'll be up at the office in a second. I'll see you guys.
Okay, guys. If you need to jump off, guys, go. What say, Ryan?
Well, just, thinking in the last 4 days, the difference between me getting hurt and you getting hurt is choices. Like, in other words, if the same thing happened to you that happened to me, you got different choices than I do. And so it's something really to go for. And, you know, it seems like most of the people that are left on here are older guys. Because the problem is with guys, not the problem, like with Craig and Tommy, you think you got forever, right? I was thinking about my career here. The 28th of this month will be 34 years. And I know it takes 18 to 36 months to build a base shop, which means I've had 10 opportunities to do that. And I passed, not on all of them, but on some of them. And so I've got unfinished business and things that I want to accomplish still in my life. I still want to pay off my mortgage, got some school debts, and my goal is to do that in the next 36 months. So
Yeah.
I can either look at what happened to me as an obstacle or an opportunity.
Right.
And I know if I don't do nothing, nothing's going to change, right? And I got on late. I don't really know what was going on with Mike Neighbors, but I do know the fact that you have an opportunity, and you and I are probably not too far in age, but the fact that you were able to be where you needed to be and still operate a business is almost unheard of. But it gives us the freedom, but we also have to take the responsibility too. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Mike didn't have to call anybody and get, get approved to be over there in Texas for 10 days with his son and family. So anyway, okay, guys, hey, I'm gonna jump on the LFIC. It's gonna be a good day. I'm in all week. Y'all need anything, let me know. Let's roll.